Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about the new episode of South Park, the third episode of their 27th season. It's called Sycophancy. I've been really enjoying this new season so far. I made 2 videos about the other 2 episodes, and I enjoyed this new episode as well. The main focus of this episode is on ChatGPT, which they've done an episode on before. I remember, I think, 2 or 3 seasons ago, they did one where it was focused on how the kids are using AI to do their schoolwork for them, writing emails and writing texts, and just replacing creative thought, basically. But this new episode is specifically focused on ChatGPT's voice models and how people are falling in love with them, like her or something. How AI and their voice models in particular are very sycophantic to the users, which, is the name of the episode, and how that's not helpful to people. There's a moment in this episode I really enjoyed where they're making fun of how people think they're smarter by using AI. Even though there's obviously been a ton of misinformation that's been spread through AI and just issues with it, so you should take it with a grain of salt. The best way they made fun of that in this episode, though, was having Randy break into an ICE detention center, I think, and the way he fools the guard to let him in is by using AI.
And we do have the clearance to come through. Thanks for helping us out.
All right, go on in.
Awesome.
Just showing how people trust AI to such a ridiculous extent that it's like the Force in Star Wars or something. I don't know if that was made as a direct Star Wars reference, but I kind of feel like it was. Maybe they should have been less subtle with that, because later in the episode they make more direct Star Wars references, and Trump does like a Jabba the Hutt laugh.
With your wisdom.
But my favorite part of this episode was the way it satirizes how corporations have embraced AI. Randy still has his marijuana farm, and I feel like it's a joke at this point, like how long can we keep this plotline running? This episode kind of implies that it is the end of that plotline, but I doubt it. And in the past, Randy's marijuana farm I feel like has kind of been a stand-in for corporations and their lack of integrity. Specifically entertainment companies like Disney and the NBA with their Banned in China episode. But in this episode, I think they're taking a much more general approach and are making fun of how corporations in general are just all embracing AI because people are interested in the technology and how it can be incorporated. Companies like Spotify advertising their AI playlists, companies like Adobe with their generative tools, which, I actually find pretty helpful. But obviously they have to collect quite a bit of people's data to incorporate that, which is a problem. And maybe the weirdest example to me, and the one that this episode reminded me of the most, was when Coca-Cola tried to have a new flavor that was like designed by AI or something. So in this episode, Randy makes a commercial about how somehow his marijuana is powered by AI, and rebrands his company to Tecrity, which I thought was pretty funny.
An AI-powered marijuana platform for global solutions.
Also, during this ad, Randy and Towley are just doing a bunch of ketamine, which I think has to be making fun of Elon Musk, in particular with the recent story. And for those who don't know, Towley is a character voiced by Vernon Chapman, who I love. And he is a character that they made in an early season where he sucks, he's the worst character ever, and they try to, market him and monetize him immediately. Just shove merchandise in your face. They made, fake commercials. And so he's one of the many callbacks to older episodes in this season so far. I don't know exactly why they chose Towley in particular. Maybe there's something going on there with him being, immediately monetized. If you have a theory of, a point they're making with that, let me know in the comments. And then, of course, we get more Trump stuff in this episode, which is just companies giving him, gifts, which was pretty funny. And I'm very glad that they mentioned Tim Cook of Apple. Just a very obvious but relevant attack of the corrupt relationship between corporations and the government. And also, I think it's making fun of the fact that Trump seems to be so easily manipulated by corporations. Also, there's a great sequence of Towley going to Washington, D.C., and there's just military and tanks everywhere, and it's super dystopian. I was really surprised at how quickly they were able to put that in the episode and release it. I was not expecting to see that in this one. The ending of this episode was kind of underwhelming for me. It was just sort of a gross cum joke. And I don't really feel like it had that much of a punch or that clear of a point, but it wasn't, terrible or anything. To compare this episode a little bit more with the other 2 of this season, it definitely was not attacking an individual like Trump or Kristi Noem in the way the first 2 were, which was guaranteed to get responses from them, and I don't mind that. I don't want that to be the only thing they do with this new season. One other very subtle difference that I noticed between this episode and the prior two is the other two episodes both have moments near the end where there's a character who, like, appears. Like, everybody is like, ooh, who will save us in this moment? And then, like, a magical character appears. In the first episode, it was Jesus, who comes down from the sky and is like, hey, you guys need to back off Trump. And in the second episode, it was Crypto from the new Superman movie that comes down from the sky, and then Kristi Noem shoots him. It was just a weird little connection I made between the first two episodes, and I thought maybe there could be a point to this by the end of the season. Maybe they're going to do it every episode, but who knows? I mean, they didn't do it in this one. I'm just curious about whether that connection I made was intentional and what the point of it is. Although one way in which this episode is very similar to the other two is the way it's making callbacks to older episodes and jokes that they've made in the past. I feel like there has to be some point to this because they're doing it so much in this new season. You got Towelie in this new episode. In the last episode, I feel like they were referencing the jokes that they made about Caitlyn Jenner. Trump is like Saddam Hussein from the South Park movie. They brought back Jesus. I feel like there's gotta be a point to this. I'm very interested in seeing where they go with it. I wonder if they'll bring back member berries. That would be kind of meta. Anyways, I really enjoyed this new episode. I will make another video in 2 weeks about episode 4, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you'd like to see it in your feed, and yeah, thank you for watching. Comments and likes are very much appreciated. They help give me a boost in the algorithm, and that's all I gotta say. See ya.